Bizarre Brain Comics. Hello, my comic book friends, and welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I'm Gary, your host, and this is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk a little bit about the characters and creators, and examine the stories and the art. This time, we're going to take a look at a baker's dozen of books of books that are of a fantasy, sword and sorcery, fighting dinosaur type theme. And it's kind of spread out a little bit. And these are by no means all of the issues that I've got of the titles that I'm going to show here. But we're going to start with a few of the Warlord. I have more. At one time, I had many issues of the Warlord from DC Comics. It was the first comic that I ever subscribed to. So it got in the mail. So I wanted to make sure I got every issue when I was at sea and stuff in the Navy. And of course, Warlord is a sword and sorcery / science fiction title created by writer and artist Mike Grell, which first appeared in first issue special number 8 in 1975. And then he had his own got his own title the following year. Its original run lasted for 133 issues up until 1988, and then it's had various comebacks since then. And the reason I say something about the dinosaurs is because, well, it's a little bit of like a Robert E. Howard and Edgar Rice Burroughs mashup with the Inner Earth, Scartaris, like Burroughs' Inner Earth of Pellucidar. And of course, it was inhabited by dinosaurs as well as sorcerers and savage peoples and civilizations. Okay, and this is issue number 20, and it's Mike Grell. All of these were done by Mike Grell. Come on, let's find a page where I can. Oh yeah, this is, I've forgotten this guy's name now. His primary villain, it keeps coming back. Eventually, he was just a head on a hand, and he still came back. But through the run, you can really see Grell's style evolve. Nice double page spread, splash spread. Oh, this had Vince Colletta inks. That's number 20. There's 21. Oh, this is when he's supposedly fighting his own son. A convoluted concept of his son born, snatched by the wizard, taken forward in time, and aged up, and then brought back, or something like that. And it turns out it was a clone of him. Yeah, here's the double page spread. And of course, over the years, his style changed quite a bit. Although still always recognizable as Mike Grell's. But this was more of the style that he had with the superheroes and stuff. But it was evolved into a more illustrative style. And he experimented with page layout and like. This is number 21. So, and this was from 79. The first one was 79. So, and this is issue 27, Atlantis Dying. Oh, this is going back in time, I think. I haven't read these in a long time. And I had many more. I got rid of a bunch of them, and then I kind of started getting some back. And this is when his you can see his style getting a little more illustrative. Atlantis dying. My great double page spread. And here is issue 29. The Return of the Gladiator plus Hounds from Hell. And he, just in these dozen or so issues from the first one I showed to this one, not even a dozen, you can begin to see an evolution in his style. Well, not only a double page spread. Oh, you've got to turn it sideways to see the whole thing. Lots of, so you can see his work is changing. Then here is issue 48. That was a big jump. I got frogs. Oh, yes. And this is the one. It's double because it has the the Return of Claw, and it's an instant collector's item, new from DC, is the free 16-page free insert first appearance of Iraq. Oh, so this is triply good because this has got Iraq in it as well. From Roy Thomas, Ernie Colon, and Tony DeZuniga. In the back here is Claw, and who did this? Jack Harrison, Tom Yates. So this is a great one. This one is a great one. And then, of course, our great Dragon of Ice. Oh. And can you see how, see there, Morgan's face magically appearing in the within the flames. All that brazier. That's cool. I'm gonna have to do a more in-depth one on that one. And then we jump to number 50. A frog will not go away. Number 50. And this is close to the end of Mike Grell's art run of this of the original Warlord run, and I think it kind of fell down after that, even though for many issues, and not just I'm saying because of the art, but and I'm sure he would by then he was getting tired of his own creation. I'm sure. But see, even see on the covers, it's more illustrative, and really see how his style has evolved. And this one is a 50th issue from 81. Okay, then we go to No Dinosaurs, but lots of sword wielding, slashing, and feminine power. Red Sonja. This is Marvel Feature number 2. This was from 75, with written by Bruce Jones. And with the art by the great Frank Thorne. I've mentioned Red Sonja before and showed a little bit some of the reprint stuff, trade paperbacks, and they probably contained these stories in those. And of course, Bruce Jones is later well known for later having his own science fiction and horror anthologies in the 80s. But one thing, though, I think about, because Sonja is a spinoff from Conan the Barbarian taking place in the Hyborian Age. But with these, in this period, it seemed a little less Hyborian, you know, not like Conan's Hyborian era. Introduced a lot of other fantasy type concepts into it, but and looking through this stuff, you can also see the germination of Frank Thorne's later own creation of Gita. But of course, this is without all the sex that Gita had in it. But still, some beautiful art, beautiful work. and his style just lent itself wonderfully to this, because it had a more organic style. That's why his stuff did well with the westerns and the Mighty Samson, and when he did Korok and westerns and war stories, his style just works so much better with that kind of work. So that's Marvel feature number 2. Then here we go, Marvel feature number 4, Red Sonja. Yeah, Frank Thorne, and this is still Bruce Jones doing the writing. Eyes of the Gorgon, and Frank Thorne got to experimenting with page layout and design, and he did the lettering. And maybe he did the coloring too. I don't know, but that's some wonderful stuff. Marvel feature number 4. Then we go to when Sonja got her own title. Red Sonja number 2, The Demon in the Maze. Still Frank Thorne, but now it's Roy Thomas and Clara Noto doing the writing chores. And it was still a little more fantasy. Here we got the lizardy, goblin-y type stuff that we didn't. It's a little less Howard than influenced than Conan's was. And then Red Sonja number 4. So you see 2 and 4, 2 and 4. Red Sonja, and still Frank Thorne. This is still Roy Thomas and Clara Noto doing the writing. Still wonderful stuff. And I don't think anybody, in my opinion anyway, did Red Sonja nearly as well after that as Frank Thorne. Okay, and then we go to, it's still fantasy, but it's prehistoric fantasy. Doesn't so much have magic, but it's cavemen and stuff. And Kong the Untamed, number 1 from 75, first DC issue. I don't know why they put DC on there, because they created him. And from what Kong ran for only 5 issues. It was created in 75. It ran through 75 and 76. Created by Jack Olak and Alfredo Alcala did the artwork. And Kong was supposed to be a descendant of Anthro, who was a prehistoric caveman character with a relatively short run the decade before. There's number 1. That's good, but you have the great Alfredo Alcala artwork with cavemen. But at this point, it was more of more like the real Stone Age, Age of Mammals with woolly mammoths and the like. And of course, because he had yellow hair, he was an outcast. He and his mother were outcast from the tribe. That sounds like that's kind of pulled right from some of the old caveman movies, and they did that, except they were women who were outcast. And some Alfred Alcala did some beautiful artwork, but he only did on I think the first two issues, or 2 or 3 issues. And then we jump to issue number 4, and this is when, of course, cavemen, they had to eventually bring in, and it was quickly too, how they bring in dinosaurs, even though they're separated by 65 million years. And so now it's more like Tor. So it's kind of like Anthro meets Tor. And of course, Kong is he's just a teenage boy. He's a little bit like Commandy in that respect. And because he's smarter than the average guy. Kong the Untamed Valley. And this is written by Jerry Conway and Tony Caravana and Joe Ingente did the artwork. And not quite as nice as Alfredo Alcala, but still very, very good. Oh, Tarzan discovers a land of prehistoric animals in candy ad. Oh my gosh. And still some very nice work. Of course, they had to have the dinosaurs, and I don't begrudge them that. It's just that, that's, well, they are separated by 65 million years after all, just as much as we are. And then here, the last issue of the title, issue 5, Bones of the Martyr. And I don't know why. This is still written by Jerry Conway with David Wenzel and Bill Drought doing the artwork, and it's not quite as nice as the we saw in the previous issues, but still very good and very commendable. And that is the end of Kong. And so, and that's all I've got to show you then. So I hope you enjoyed seeing this little trip into some fantasy, sword-wielding, dinosaur-y stuff. So thank you for joining me. Please like, share, and subscribe. And do leave a comment. Tell me what you thought of these books. Which ones do you like? Which ones have you read? Etc. Let me know in the comments below. And remember, comics are art.